What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all sports all the time. I'm Trayvon Miles.
And I'm Brandon Bossert. We are all local sports all the time, and it's a big week for local sports news, Trey.
Yeah, welcome on into another episode of DSI. Get cozy, because boy, do we have a show for you, Brandon. It's been an absolutely crazy week for anyone interested in keeping up with high school athletics in the state of Maryland.
Yeah, it definitely has. So much happened this week, so many twists and turns, and we're going to start from the beginning. So buckle up. It's a wild ride, folks.
Yeah, get your seatbelt on, folks. We'll begin on this past Tuesday when the Maryland Board of Education held a meeting. That meeting was then bombarded with "Let Us Play" messages.
That's right. That was Tuesday, and that feels like an eternity ago,
yes,
Trey.
It does.
A number of advocates for a return to play in Maryland used a public comment period to try to persuade leaders to reconsider the decision to delay fall sports. And I think these arguments made a real impact in the end.
A member of a very large contingency of Maryland parents requesting that MPSSAA and the state of Maryland reconsider their decision to postpone sports until the second semester.
Let them play. That was the message these parents, coaches, physicians wanted to send to the MPSSAA and the state of Maryland during the public comment period of Tuesday's State Board of Education meeting.
They are receiving institutional instruction. They are expected to attend classes every day and attendance is being taken. They have homework and they are earning their grades.
Maryland Governor Larry Hogan moved the state to Stage 3 reopening on September 4th. According to the MPSSAA's roadmap for a return to interscholastic athletics and extracurricular activities, when the state is in Stage 3, in-person activities may fully resume and schools must comply with any state and/or local restrictions in place. Pressure was then applied to the governor.
Governor Hogan himself expressed his excitement for Maryland football. We would hope that he means not only University of Maryland, but Maryland high school athletics as well. It's got to be impossible to support one without supporting the other.
A big concern is the impact that remaining at home is having on the mental health of these athletes.
Our children are being negatively affected by the state of Maryland's complacency when it comes to the push to return to competitive sports this fall.
It's having alarming consequences such as depression, bad sleeping habits, and destroy their motivation for everything.
Another concern is the lost opportunities for scholarships for local juniors and seniors.
The damage has already been done in some Maryland schools where athletes have already transferred to neighboring states who are currently playing. I will very seriously consider withdrawing my kids from Maryland Public School effective immediately and enrolling them in private school or moving to Pennsylvania where they are offering interscholastic sports.
Bert Cashman claims he spoke with the director of PIAA in Pennsylvania.
The director that I spoke to said, we have not had one case, outbreak, or issue reported to us that has been directly linked to sports since we started in August.
But a quick online search shows multiple games in Pennsylvania postponed due to coronavirus, as well as a number of games postponed just this week from Utah, Kansas, Kentucky, Missouri. As of now, the beginning of winter sports in Maryland is still slated for February 1st. Brandon Bossert, 47 ABC.
Now, I do want to emphasize that while there have been outbreaks across the country, we cannot say that they were directly tied to sports activity like Bert Cashman said. There was a petition to reinstate fall sports in the state of Maryland that got over 7,200 signatures as of tonight. So quite a lengthy petition right there, but you can find that petition on our website, 47abc.com. And some of that pushback unquestionably had an effect on what happened next.
Yeah, Brandon, you're exactly right. Wednesday was quiet. We had heard some rumors that something might be going on. Then we got a bombshell on Thursday around 1:30 Thursday afternoon at a scheduled press conference in Frederick County in front of an elementary school. Governor Larry Hogan, State Superintendent Karen Salmon announced that the state was indeed reversing a previous ruling and allowing the fall sports season to begin in October. According to Salmon, teams could begin practice as early as October 7th and begin playing as soon as October 27th. That's if local school systems decided to opt into the fall season. Now, when that news came out, obviously, everyone was excited.
Me included.
Me too. Yeah, the news began to spread with players and families rejoicing all over the state. that football and field hockey, volleyball, soccer players alike could begin their years soon. But from there, Brandon, things got a lot more complicated.
That's right, Trey. It took a real twist about 5 p.m. yesterday, just about 3 hours after Hogan and Salmon's announcement. The PSSAM, or Public Schools Superintendents Association of Maryland, released their own statement. That statement was addressed from the superintendent in each of Maryland's 24 counties. And in short, they said, quote, "As we return to classrooms, so too will return to play," end quote. So the 24 individual superintendents drafted a letter essentially saying that until students return to school, there would be no counties participating in Hogan and Salmon's plan.
Wow.
Interesting. Very
Yes.
interesting.
So essentially what we got was that the governor and the state superintendent were on the same page, and the people that work under the state superintendent were on another page. Yeah, I was hoping things wouldn't get here, but I'm going to end up saying it anyway. The entire thing has just turned political. I absolutely love Governor Larry Hogan and what he does for this state, but all of this does is take the blame off of him and lays it squarely on the shoulders of the local school systems, who, in my opinion, never really discussed a plan of returning fall sports. They may have focused a plan on returning back to school, but never on the specifics of sports. A few officials that talked to me this weekend were told me that they were totally blindsided by this move, and for the kids to have 3 hours where they thought their season was back on, and then back on in less than 2 weeks, to having it taken away in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Honestly, it just looks bad from top to bottom in the state of Maryland.
Yeah, you said blindsided. I was blindsided as well. I've been off the last 2 days. I'm reading your tweets. I'm seeing we're back, and then all of a sudden, hey, pump the brakes a little bit, because all the superintendents unanimously said, no, we are not on. It has me wondering, what was it that provoked this impromptu press conference by the governor and Superintendent Salmon? Was it the arguments that we just saw made during the public comment period, during the Board of Education meeting, the countless letters being sent in by parents? Or was it the fact that politicians in Annapolis are pressing for a return? Either way, I'm proud of the way Delaware has handled their return to play, and I'm appalled by the way that Maryland has been handling this. DIAA has been transparent through this whole process. They have been putting their names behind their votes. They're in contact with superintendents, school leaders, officials, everyone, sending out surveys. The MPSSAA is nowhere to be found through this whole process. And I'm amazed that the governor and the state superintendent came out and told their counties that they can play, and then all 24 came back and told the governor and Salmon no. It seems to me as though it was an easy way for the blame to be passed down for why athletes cannot be playing this fall. Why is it that this decision came out of the blue after the Board of Ed meeting and after DIAA made their decision? I want to stress that I'm not saying that these kids should play or not. There's arguments on both sides that are very valid, but this is not the right way to handle it.
Not at all. I agree.
Now let's move on to Delaware, a state where sports are officially back on. Whether or not there will be enough officials has become a pretty big story here. Officials voiced their concerns surrounding officiating in a COVID-19 world to the DIAA Thursday morning. In fact, polls have shown that about 25 to 30% of referees say they'd opt out if they were told to wear masks. The situation is so dire in Newcastle County, in fact, that only 21 refs have signed on for the coming season thus far.
Yeah, officials also want to know what safety procedures are in place and whether they'll be notified if someone in a game they've worked tests positive for COVID-19. A meeting is being held this Monday to sort out these issues and hopefully to come to an agreement on regulations that will be set the same throughout the entire state.
That's right, and shortages in officiating have been an ongoing issue in Delaware, and it has only been exacerbated by the pandemic. So now there have been people making the point that with other states not playing, Maryland, that there could be a pool of officials to pull from, but it's just not that simple, folks. Delaware has a problem when it comes to a shortage in refs right now, and it could lead to more flexible schedules for these schools when they go back to play so refs can cover more games.
Yeah, and I saw someone on Twitter mention that Delaware was exploring using Maryland refs.
Right.
Of course, we thought Maryland refs might be busy for about 3 hours on Thursday, and all of a sudden their schedules just got clear again. But this is very important as far as refereeing goes. Can you imagine if calls regarding masks and how they are enforced were inconsistent?
Yeah.
That would be a mess. Refs would get more grief than they already do from fans and from players and coaches alike. So
yeah, so go easy on the refs when we do come back. Just know that they're trying their best. Just go easy on the refs, please.
Yeah, they are trying their best. I cannot say the same for what we saw in the state of Maryland this week, but that is another story for another time. That's going to do it for the A Block. We're taking a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're taking you to D-Town for another After the Whistle. That and more when Delmarva Sports Insider returns.
Coach Sean Strickland from Milford Football. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.